What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Outerzone. My name is Jacob, as you know, and this is going to be a little bit different of an episode. This episode is actually recorded in New Jersey on the set of Drifter, the movie, as well. I mean, it was obviously Legends of Drift was the event. I got a chance to catch up with a couple of drivers that were there, some old school, some current drivers, some drivers that have gone on and done some other stuff. It's a really, really cool episode. I highly recommend you listen to everybody in this one. Don't just pick your favorites. And if you could stick around to the very end, couple little things I want to chat about. Nothing bad. Don't worry. It's not like one of those talks. All good stuff. Just a couple things I want to update you on. But without any further ado, let's check out this episode from Legends of Drift.
Jacob. So
this dude showing up with a freaking
big
10
There's
ton.
so much, and even if we had more, I don't think it.
oh my god.
Vaughn Gettins just does a burn.
No, that is that Vaughn?
Yeah.
I like this.
You also have gigantic hands.
In that car right now. We didn't fly all the ways here to watch you walk around in a sling.
Here's what I want to do. I think I'm gonna fly into town a little bit early. I'm going to walk out to the salt flats, and I'm gonna spell out very specifically OZSLC. And maybe anybody who's flying to the event will see it and they can save $5. OZSLC at checkout. You can save $5 on tickets for Salt Lake City. So jump on it, get on it, and we'll see you there.
There we go. That's good enough, Jay. Dude, what's up? How you been?
I've been really good. I've been busy. I haven't been doing a lot of drifting. This past year. But I've been doing good. I've been starting working. Life getting older. So yeah, I'm 17. Yeah. So.
I mean, it's about that time where you got to start figuring out like what's going on.
Yeah.
But was that the kind of this year was to try and get back and get some normal life going on?
I'm a little bit. I mean, I've been doing this since I was 12 years old. I think I started.
Yeah.
And I've done that for like my whole life was just doing drifting. And don't get me wrong, drifting is what I love the most in my life. But sometimes you got to step back because Formula Drift and everything. It sounds really good, but I don't think that people see like the organization that's behind it.
Oh,
and
it's crazy.
It's incredible. So sometimes you gotta take a step back. And I took a bit chill this year. I've been driving a little bit. I drove back home. I've done some fun events, and now this event is like the first event that I'm really going back out there doing competition. But
Okay.
I think it's fun to get back out here.
So you didn't do DMCC this year? You just
No, not even.
Okay.
I just decided to just
take a
do
break?
fun events. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's important too to go back and like do some of the fun stuff again. It kind of keeps the driving going, but it kind of gives you that itch to then go and compete again later.
Honestly, I love competition, but I've always been someone that loves doing fun driving,
Okay.
You get back out there with the people you started with, and, I think that's the most fun part. You go back to your hometown with the people you know, and it's just fun. You have no stress. I get really stressed in competitions, and sometimes it kind of takes away some fun.
Yeah.
So when you go to do a fun event, you just do all the fun. So I think it's what I like the most.
Yeah, that's all good, man. I mean, it's tough to see you take a step away just because of how phenomenal you were driving and stuff like that.
Thank
But
you.
I also get it. I mean, it's tough. As you said, people don't realize how much work it takes before you ever show up to the track.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, for sure, it takes a lot of work. And, I think it's going to help a lot just to take a step back. Because, I've been doing that so much that, sometimes I just got tired of it. And, I wasn't even motivated to go back to the track. So sometimes I'd go there and, like, I'm already tired, So the event is harder to do when you're tired and everything. But, next year if I try to go back, well, I'm going to be more ready, and, I'm going to have my mind more clear, and I'm going to be able to do some better driving.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, that's a good way to look at it is, take the year, have some fun, fall in love with the sport again, get things situated as well, and then go from there. I mean, I think this is quite the warm-up event to
For sure.
come back, dude. I mean, there's some crazy drivers you're going up against.
So, honestly, there's some drivers that I've been looking up to since, I started when I was like 12 years old. And, now it's incredible that I'm driving with them, and you were doing a really cool event with some cool drivers, some cool cars, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Car-wise, pretty much the same setup you had previously?
Exactly the same setup. The thing I love about this car is, this year, first fun event I wanted to do, I got in the shop, I did the oil change, checked the suspension, got back out there, nothing to do, the car's driving great, so that's what I like about it,
Yeah. No, I mean, it was pretty, once you guys got it into like pro spec form,
exactly,
it was fine. But I mean, even here, if I remember correctly, you were like way down on horsepower. The supercharger wasn't on it, and you were driving it with NA.
We never had a supercharger out with it, but we had NOS, and NOS is really, really good, but sometimes it's not consistent, and that's the thing I don't like about it. So sometimes, like even at this event, I'm not even sure we're gonna run NOS. We brought NOS because maybe we might run it, but you don't really need it. This car already has 500 wheel horsepower with NA, so. Yeah. Whatever, it still drives perfect,
Well, and everybody's on the same tires, so that helps. And I mean, the layout's pretty simple, and
And with the transmission, and then you have the quick change, so you could just change the ratio and then get the perfect gearing. So it still feels like I got a lot of power.
I do think you hold the clutch kick record for this track.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's like 15 clutch kicks in one like lap around.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I used to run I think it was even worse with the red Corvette because we were running like 400 wheel horsepower. And we were trying to grip the car the most we could because, people here had 1,100 horsepower.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to keep up with people, I had to grip the car. So sometimes the car would keep dying out, so I had to keep trying to wake it up.
Yeah, that's wild, dude. You mentioned that you might look at coming back for next year. What do you think the chances are of that? Is it something you're planning for, or are you just kind of like, we'll see?
I honestly, it's really, we'll see what happens,
Okay.
I think it's a 50-50 chance. I really love drifting. I want to get back out there, but we'll see. We'll see with if we get more partners on board, and it's a bit of everything. We'll see. We'll go with everything that happens, and we're trying to get it back out there and try to find something new. We were looking maybe at getting a new chassis.
Okay.
We've been driving this thing for a few years, but at the same time, we're wondering if we get back out there, we might change chassis. So.
Okay. Do you go with like something a bit more research, like an S chassis or BMW, or you do like doing things a little bit different. So
exactly. Honestly, I think we might. I've been doing something different, but I think we might go back to something more, I'd say, normal. So, like for example, you're looking at BMWs. They're great chassis. Going out there, don't get me wrong, Corvettes are really, really good chassis, but sometimes, you run into issues that, BMWs don't have or S chassis don't have, so.
Yeah. Either way, dude, I'm stoked. Well, I'm glad you're out here. I'm glad you're doing well.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw you on the roster, I was like sick, and then just getting the opportunity to interview a whole bunch of FD drivers.
Yeah, for sure.
It was super sick. So I do hope you come back. It was great seeing you out on
It's
grid.
the plan too to get back out there soon. So we'll see.
Good, awesome, dude. Thanks, man.
Nice seeing you.
No, good seeing you too, dude. What's going on? Open-ended question, right?
Yeah.
Great. Let's kick it off like that. I mean, I could get like hyper specific. How much do you love being back in this chassis?
I like it. That's why I have it, dude.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
You don't have like a whole fleet of Corollas?
Yeah. Honestly, I wish I did. I wish I had a copy of the Pro car. I love driving a Corolla. I think it'd be sweet if I had one close to that level for a practice car. But the 86 has just kind of been my roots for so long with Toyota, and so I got to have a couple.
You got a few of them.
At least two.
You got two right now, or you got more than that?
Yeah, no, just two.
Just two? Okay,
Yeah.
That's not bad then.
Yeah,
that's not an addiction yet.
I'm like kind of inactively looking at Marketplace for cheap chassis.
Okay, it's one of those
just to pick one up and store it now that I have space at the shop.
Is it one of those like you set the notification to like $3,000, and if one just pops up, you're like, there we go. Yeah,
yes,
I know that feeling. I've got like 6 or 7 vehicles like that, and then you look at them and you're like, okay, this is irresponsible. I shouldn't do it. Like, it's such a good deal.
But it's a good deal. I need it. You know what? I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy it.
Have you? What's your like excuse bringing a car home to the better half?
I don't bring it home anymore, but I bring it to the shop.
Oh, so then she doesn't notice.
She doesn't notice, but she doesn't. My wife doesn't care. She's like, this is your thing. You do your thing. Yeah.
So like that's a good spot to be in where you don't have to make a big excuse.
Yeah. I mean, she knows what's going on because we talk all the time, obviously. But I don't need to like, hey, I'm gonna take your spot in the driveway again.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of thing.
Yeah,
I just got her.
Past that.
I just gave her spot back in the garage.
Oh, really?
So like,
Okay.
this winter she can finally park inside and. I don't have to go out early and brush snow and do the whole thing this winter.
Upgrades, man.
Yeah.
I love
yes,
it.
Yes,
Love
yes.
to hear it. Filming experience. You've done obviously a lot of filming over the years, both, I guess, a little more grassroots, if we will, with series like Tuerck, all the stuff back in the day with like Network A. You've done a couple of bigger shoots as well. Is this the first, like I would say, Hollywood production stuff you've done?
Yeah. Yes, like a movie thing for sure. So I've been fortunate with Toyota to be able to film a bunch of commercials with them.
Yeah.
And I've been on those sets, both big and small productions for those, but never an actual movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is brand new for me.
Yeah.
Which is sick.
Is it similar to a commercial or like a little bit different or?
It is. It's a little bit, since they have just a lot of moving parts here and like a lot of units.
Yeah.
A lot of film units. I think there's 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So just a lot of moving parts all at the same time. So it's a little bit more. I'm not gonna say chaotic, but it's a lot more like kind of waiting, go.
Yeah.
Where for a lot of the Toyota shoots that I've done for the commercials, there's maybe 2 units max.
Okay.
That the ones I've done. So you're always kind of like it's a lot easier to stay kind of on the program and all of that.
Yeah, it seems to be they're very opportunistic with this, where they're like, okay, we've got this opportunity to shoot this thing, we're going to just do that now, and they pivot a lot.
Yeah, they're very much looking for these. Like if a situation pops up that they think would be great for the movie, they're like, okay, let's go to this real quick.
Yeah,
which is phenomenal. So they're always like looking for, I guess, these unique opportunities to make the movie better than they're expecting.
It seems to be the level of like detail and realism has been pretty cool.
Yeah,
and their openness to change what they've written to what we feel like should be written.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's been your experience, but like...
No, because I haven't been on any of things, but I know chatting with you and Jared and a few of the other drivers and even some of the production team, they're like, yeah, it's just trying to make it as authentic as possible.
Yeah, which is sick.
Which is super cool.
Which is it's what we want. That's our... For me, it was like my biggest fear going into this. I'm like, will this do service to what we all love?
I really hope so.
Yeah.
I know the story is going to be a lot different than I think everybody out there
maybe thinks.
Yeah. And I've gotten dribs and drabs of what the actual storyline is.
Yeah.
And it sounds pretty like it's going to add some grit to it for sure.
I think
add
it'll
an actual story to the drifting.
There's stakes involved.
Yeah.
You like obviously I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But reading through it, I'm like, dude, I was like emotionally involved like 2 pages in. I was like, okay, cool.
Awesome.
Like I'm hooked.
I haven't seen that much.
Oh,
so
really?
Yeah,
No, I got the whole thing.
Yeah. No,
I'll drop that
spill
off.
it, bud.
Spill it. No. Sick. This season, not the best season. Had a couple of moments of greatness. It just seems to be one of those weird ones where strange gremlins or strange mistakes on track keep popping up. Where's your head at going into Utah? Where's your head at the end of the season?
Yeah, I came in this season super motivated. We had a great Long Beach, even though it wasn't. We didn't make it out of top 8, but I just feel like I was at a championship driving level coming into the season. And then Road Atlanta was okay, but I made a little brain fart mistake with Castro and went out an 8 there, and then we had the mechanical in Florida. And then I think my main problem through St. Louis was I was on the road for a while. My son has just come around to being very sensitive to me leaving. I was gone for 6 days. I was home for 2 days. I was gone for 7 days. I was home for a day. And then I came to St. Louis. So it's just tough for me to have that experience with my son for the first time. And it like kills you inside. Yeah. So St. Louis was tough for me there just because of coming to that track mentally. And then just Jersey. Sorry, I forgot about Jersey.
That's all good. As we stand here.
Yeah, honestly, just a crappy mistake. Got lost in the smoke a little bit. Didn't get on the gas when I should have. And this track is just the Jersey track is really difficult because it has that off If you go
Yeah.
off, you're stuck in
Yeah.
a rut and you're not moving
can't
anywhere.
dig out of
So
it.
if you go off track, you're not coming back from that.
Yeah.
And that's just what happened there. So it's just a crappy mistake and at a
Happens.
poor
Yeah.
time in top 32.
Yeah.
So yeah, honestly, two throwaway rounds. Everything else was kind of on point. I was like right on the cusp of making the semifinals a few times. And,
Yeah.
And
Get there.
then after St. Louis, I had some time at home. I was just able to regroup and get back and get my head back on straight. And I freaking love Seattle. So we
Yeah.
came in there swinging. Car was phenomenal right off the trailer. And that's the best driving I think I've done all year and had a blast doing it. And everybody was super on point.
It's a good track for you too.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that place a lot. It's a really fun track to drive, and I enjoy that every year and have had some of my best battles that I've ever done in my career at that track with people. So, yeah, it's always exciting. And the one with Matt was kind of the same thing. It was just killer battle.
Yeah.
Which
And
we obviously got it, and, it's
Yeah.
this
man.
and that, but
I know what you're saying.
yeah.
And
yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna go out to the guy who wins the event.
I know, exactly.
Yeah. I know
Yeah.
what you're saying. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was a weird one. It
Yeah,
happens.
so it's just one of those years where a couple little mental things, nothing crazy, a little mechanical, and then just not really having maybe that little bit more that I needed, a little bit more of an edge to make it past top 8 to get in those semis. But we keep pushing. The car's in a much better place than it was even last year.
Mm-hmm.
The Kenda tire has just woken the chassis up a lot more for me with the inline 6, the B58 swap that we had done.
That's a lot. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
lot coming from the 4-cylinder on the Nittos, and then going the B58, things look good, and then onto the Kendas. Now you're like,
Yeah.
okay, this aligns with what we're
Yep.
what we're going for.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're in a much better place. Just the level of talent keeps
crazy.
stepping up. So it's everything's harder and harder, and you have to be sharp and you have to be on point. You have to come into the weekends with a good attitude and try to have some fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how much we can talk about next year. Are you plans-wise pretty much settled? I don't know what you're allowed to talk about or what you're willing to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to drive next season.
Good.
And
That's good. Cool.
So there's
All right.
that.
Yeah, first thing done. All right, sweet.
But yeah, a lot of the sponsorships are year to year, so
Okay.
you're going back and fingers crossed that everybody's still happy and down to support you for another year. And I feel like within FD and outside of FD, we've done a great job with just kind of being out there and hitting all these other events and demos. And
It's a lot, man.
Mobile One and Toyota have done a great job at bringing me to all these other demo events.
Yeah.
And so yeah, been busy this year.
Good, man. I'm happy. I'm stoked. Hopefully the rest of the season turns around and next year's a lot of momentum. So we need you. We need that championship out of you. I'm just, I as announcers, we try not to be biased, but like, there's a few drivers where I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I just want to see them. I just want to see the championship.
Believe
Like,
me,
it's
I
know.
I would have loved to have won the championship already.
I know,
so we
I
don't have
know.
to have this conversation.
I know. It's all right. One day we'll be having it. It'll be like end of the season. We'll be having the show.
Yeah.
And be like,
Yeah.
hey, I did it. Now you can stop talking about it. I've done it.
I just hope my son's not like 16 by the time I win a championship,
Or
right?
he's driving with you at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's competing with you. Sick, dude. Well, dude, thanks for taking a few moments. Love that we got to do it in front of the car as well. Congrats on all the 411 work stuff. That's
Thank you. Yeah.
massive. Super
Yeah.
cool that you're doing that.
Yeah. That's been such a huge effort on my side this year as well, is just trying to get the company kicked off with my brothers and our friend John, and just make great quality stuff here in the USA that everybody can use on their own race car, and just make it right.
Yeah. Do
Make
it
it
once,
tight.
do it right.
Yes.
Like it.
Yeah.
Sick. Well, I might have to put a cart together at some point, but
Let me
dude,
know.
Will do. All right. Thanks again. All right. Chelsea, stoked to have you back on. I think we need to do like a full length one, just like check in on everything. But
I do need to be checked in on from time to time.
yeah, this is true. Is that why you just you're still like around FDs? Like there's somebody supervising?
Or I'm supervising. One or the other.
Yeah, I mean, I know which way I would lean on that. How's it been post retirement? Like you've obviously been crazy active still, arguably busier than when you were driving.
Yeah, I don't know. Like retirement's probably the right word. Maybe just from FD. But yeah, it's been busy. Developing a lot of new stuff and working with my partners to develop some and improve products on their end. And just kind of doing things, the stuff that I like to do.
Yeah.
Like keep improving, keep evolving, keep growing, and kind of make drifting the basis of all that.
Yeah, it's cool that you can find a way to do stuff that's maybe more lucrative. I mean, driving's great, but it's like it's an expense at the end of the day, no matter how you cut it. At least with what you're doing with the Fox body, obviously development with the Porsche. Hopefully that leads into something you're like, oh, cool. Like I can actual retirement is something that you can look forward to.
Yeah, I'm only like 37, so I got at least probably 20 years of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure. That is definitely the goal, is to kind of keep evolving and not necessarily, I don't necessarily have to keep growing up, just more like laterally and doing more things like, 10% of my life to this, 10% of my life to this, instead of like 90% of my life to FD.
Yeah.
It's tough that way.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, not having to do all those events. I mean, you're still doing the events. You're still spotting, which is cool. But not having to worry about the logistics, kind of being like, okay, cool. I just have to sit up here, watch practice, watch the event, and sit on a radio, I'm sure is much less intensive than actually being behind the wheel.
It's probably more stressful for me because like we do a lot of the chassis setup too. So like I try to get the car to come out of the trailer like as a winning car and just let Ryan work through the day and have the best odds to and get as many laps as possible in the winning car. But yeah, it's like I used to look at it like I'm just going to be spotting and giving him tips, but it's way more than that. And on top of it, for me, it's something that's like, when he leaves the line, I'm like, I have no control over what happens, which is the polar opposite of everything I've done in my life. Like, I don't have a lot of control over what happens until I leave the line, and then it's all me, So it's just a different feeling.
I mean, a lot of drivers are like that. Like, great drivers, terrible passengers.
Yeah, don't. You'll never catch me in the passenger seat of anything, unless, like, my wife's driving or something.
Yeah.
So.
Have you enjoyed spotting and chassis setup? I mean, I feel like you've always enjoyed chassis setup, but spotting in particular?
I do. It's a lot different. It's a very new challenge for me. It is a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And I've been in a lot of positions where I've like thought about my spotter and what he's saying and what he's doing to try and improve what kind of data I give him and all that. And those same things are happening here. Like Ryan's like asking me for more things and and then you're like, I can't give you all this information before you go drive.
It's not going to help.
It's not going to help.
Yeah.
So let's like work on that and look at the psychology of it and like, what do we really need? What do you already know? What does Ryan Tuerck know how to do without thinking?
Yeah.
Right? So let's not talk about those because those are the things we don't want to change anyway because we want Ryan to be the best Ryan.
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
Yeah,
and I probably overthink some of it, but
I mean, you're a pretty analytical guy. I know you very much enjoy the data side of things, and like, I mean, nerding out to the nth degree. So I guess wrangling that back in sometimes you're like, you may spot something like, we can't change it, we can't fix it. I'm not even going to tell them about it. We're just going to drive.
Right. Yeah, and sometimes that's the case. Like. Sometimes a driver shows up and he wants to find every little bit out of the car.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the other way and he needs to find every little bit about himself.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's every bit of the track. So I kind of have to like move in a path that works with like how Ryan or Brian Hopp or any of those guys I work with feel. If they're having an off day at the track, the last thing I want to do is make sure they're fast enough to win.
Yeah.
know, so it's like, let's get back to the basics and hey, fill every zone, do this thing. Very easy first off, and then if stuff it starts improving, then they can improve from there,
Yeah, no, that's fair.
So
with the Porsche, where are your thoughts on this or mid-rear engine chassis as a competitive pro-level car?
I think if the equation is correct, it can work.
Okay.
That's very broad.
Is that...
But, like, I think if it's dry... I believe that this car can be really competitive in like Formula Drift or one of the major series. In the rain, it cannot be, but it probably could be. I just haven't figured that out yet and done enough testing or cared enough to continue down that road of like going places every time it rains.
Yeah.
The weight is very easy to manage when it's dry, and you can set the car up to really like use the weight in ways that are better than anything.
Okay.
But in the rain, like you only have the momentum and movement of the car. You can't use a lot of the chassis setup to make it do stuff because the tire is the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
So in the rain, it's tough for sure. But like I said, I think it's cool. I think it's very modular. I think it's adjustable. I think you can make this thing drive just like anything else. Like I've put people like Grant Anderson in it and sent him on a lap on road course and just on the wall, running every line exactly the way it's supposed to do, first lap out in it.
So it's there.
It's there.
It's there, yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, there's definitely some downfalls to it, but
Yeah. It's just funny because, I might not get the years completely correct, but let's say 10 years ago, there was all that talk about, getting the weight to the back. Guys were hanging batteries way back. Everything was pushed as far back as possible. Then we kind of developed more to like a central mentality for weight. And now I'm starting to see even more coming to the front where we're now maybe front limited. So to get into something like this where, I don't know what the weight distribution is, but you would assume it's more weight bias or back bias than front bias.
Yeah, it's basically like 39.5% front.
Okay.
So it's pretty rear biased. And I think most of what you're saying in the car's changing is just simply the tires becoming better.
Yeah.
And they're being like, I don't want to use a term like terminal velocity of getting through a track, because if you put a stickier tire on, you hook the car up more, you can particularly drive faster through a turn.
Yeah.
But there is a point where it becomes like, oh, I'm just too fast. I just can't get those zones. I just can't make this look smooth. And then it takes a year of driving at that level to get it to be right.
Yeah.
So I think we've kind of seen people go back more towards the front weight, because it's always easier to drive a heavy car.
Yeah.
It's always going to pivot around the front. It's never going to do any weird movements through the transitions. So I think you're starting to see that, because now all the tires have gotten so good that you're not looking for rear grip anymore.
Yeah.
You're looking for front grip or stability, and that's how you do that.
Yeah. No, it's sick. I mean, I'm hoping that this gets pushed. I think what you're doing, what Matt's doing, and I mean, there's countless other people that have been testing this out. I mean, the Porsche and FD is not a new thing.
Yeah.
It's just now we're at a point where I think it makes sense.
Yeah, maybe. I just going back to FD in a program like this is like $500,000 a car.
Oh,
I'm just
yeah.
Nope, I'm having way more fun doing this stuff.
No, it's good to see you out doing this kind of stuff, having fun. I tell anybody, when you start to get disheartened with drifting, just go bang doors with friends.
Yeah.
And if you still hate it after that, then you can leave.
You can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly.
But most people, they go out and do that, and then like, this is good. I do enjoy it.
Yeah,
So.
because drifting is super fun, and what's difficult is we go from something that is like skateboarding at the skate park with your friends to the X Games. There's not really that much in between that. Even this event here is more for fun, but every person here has 5 people on their team. There's spotters, there's crews. It doesn't just go from being at the skate park and having fun. It's straight X Games right off the bat. So it's a big thing, and a lot of mental game and a lot of costs and effort that gets tangled up in things.
Yeah, you just hope that the weekend goes your way.
Yeah, and that's the issue, right? We go drive for fun. You get 5 laps and your car breaks. You're worried about, damn, those 5 laps are sick. Sucks my car's broken, but those 5 laps are sick. In FD or this competition, right now, I'm sitting here with a broken car. I can't drive, and I'm not focused on the 4 laps that I absolutely had a blast for yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, I can't drive this competition that I was supposed to do.
I'm sure we'll find you something.
Yeah,
There's enough
we'll
that it's kicking around, but
Yeah.
dude, thanks again. I
No
appreciate
worries.
it. I'm glad everything's going well, and we'll catch up soon.
See you guys.
Lanteigne, what's up? How you been?
Been well, man.
Yeah?
Good to be back in a drifting judging chair, I guess, if that's what you want to call these little black chairs we have here. Yeah.
Pretty low stakes judging. Is that kind of the good way to ease back into it?
It is, yeah. I think this weekend is a lot of
Yeah.
drivers are getting the same type of judging, let's say, quality that
Yeah,
we
it's
always put out, but
world
it's
class.
just much
Yeah.
more relaxed, I would say, for everybody involved.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of downtime here with the filming of the movie, though.
Yeah.
So that's just the thing you have to deal with on, all the movie sets I'm on all the time.
Yeah.
I'm joking, of course, but
Yeah. Well, yeah. You're constantly in movies.
constantly.
Oh, it wouldn't be a podcast. There it is.
Yeah, that's.
Just like the Larry Chen episode, all over again.
And Jared takes all the attention away from both of us.
That's all good.
Good for him.
I think
He
we're
can have
both
it.
used to it at this point.
Yes.
Have you done any work in drifting since? I say retire, but that doesn't
Yeah, I
seem
know.
like the right word.
Retirement's a big word.
Yeah.
I have not. No.
No?
I have attended a few drift events.
Okay.
I went to Irwindale last year, which I'm happy to have attended that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The 7th last drift event at,
Yep.
At Irwindale. That was
Yep.
great to attend. What did I do? Long Beach this year. I just happened to be
Right.
in Newport for an event the next day, so it was perfect that I got to fly in for that.
Nice.
So I was happy to be there. And I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Try to get to the finals.
Like Long Beach too.
Long Beach Part 2.
Yeah.
See what that's all about. I don't know if I'll be able to, but never know.
Yeah.
Be great.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So you got a cool job now, basically helping people test out brand new McLarens.
Yes,
That's
McLarens and
crazy.
some other cars, depending if we sell a used car. But yeah, we've done some fun track days recently.
Nice.
We got to go up to Car Week with McLaren as well, so that was fun. Monterey Car Week is always one of those events that you get to see things you never usually get to see, and they're driving around in the street, so that's a lot of fun.
Has there been a McLaren or any car that you've been in where you're like, this is absurd that I'm even in this vehicle?
Yeah, over the years, definitely some cars. Definitely some Paganis.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A couple of them were worth $15 million, I'm told.
Like a Hawaii
I don't know
or something.
how.
Yeah.
It was one of the old Zondas. There's very few of them made.
Zonda R. I mean, there's like 3 different Zondas, if I remember
I
correctly.
can't keep track of them all, really.
All
Koenigsegg's and, some Ferraris and Bugattis and things like that. But the cool thing about being at Car Week was seeing Mad Mike.
Okay.
He was at the Monterey Motorsport Festival. I kind of helped a little bit in the background getting him there to connect them. So it was cool to see him there. And he didn't drive the car, but to see that McLaren that he built with, I believe it's a 4-rotor, right? In
I think
that car?
so, yeah.
The thing in video and pictures doesn't look as crazy as it does in person, and I know that goes for a lot of things, but just the sheer width of that car and to stand at the front and to see the sort of Coke bottle shape, and then the rear fenders are incredible.
Yeah.
The quality of the work that they've done to the engine and all the things that support that, the exhaust, it's unreal, the build. So they had a small burnout box at this event, and they asked him, could you do some donuts? And he said, no, my car's set up for drift, 100 mile an hour plus drifts right now. I'm not going to, they probably melt the clutch and break some other things, trying to drift on a little box like that. But Federico Sciarrifo was there with his with Fiorella.
Oh, cool.
So it was cool to see him burning it up in the box, and they had a few other cars drifting through there. So they're trying to bring drifting into the forefront. They had other drift cars as well there in that box, but it was cool to see an FD driver or two there to see what they were doing. I know people like to drift. Drift was a big word. Lay rubber and drive like hoonigans all over the street during Car Week, but to have it done legitimately was a nice step, I think.
I think it's a big step for the community.
It is definitely.
When you start seeing it
Yes, in that type of venue. It was fantastic. So
just need to get us like Pebble Beach next or something like that.
Yeah, right. Down 17-mile drive.
Yeah. It is neat though that like just the different things like Goodwood, obviously having the acceptance of Goodwood, it was kind of like a big step for us. And then hearing Monterey and then a few other things, or even seeing like a couple of drift cars go through like the Barrett Jackson, and you're like, what is, or like Mark IV Supra is going for like crazy money, and you're like, okay, like this 90s JDM culture that drifting is kind of based upon has now aged to a point where it's like acceptable by that range. And to me, a lot of it's that like the people who started drifting are now in a position of power, and they're moving up through the ranks. And to me, that gives me a lot of hope that like we're on that precipice of things getting crazy again.
Yeah, looking at when we were younger, the poor drifters, the kids that were trying to buy beat up old cars and make them work on the track in any way whatsoever. Some of those people are successful adults now, and they're able to buy some very expensive cars and have some fun with them. There was an R33 400R that went through the RM Sotheby's auction, and I think it sold for just under $1 million. So it was $950,000 maybe with the premiums and everything that come along with that. But it was incredible to see that type of value on a car that we all love and know.
And that's like the most hated of the R series, like the R33. Like that's the least
loved.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like if it was a Bayside Blue R34 Nismo or something like that, then it's like, yeah, you get it. But that's wild.
Yeah,
that's good
cool.
though. That's good.
Yeah.
I have to ask, any plans to do more drifting stuff, or are you just kind of like, if it happens?
I'm not opposed to it. I haven't really been asked. Of course, FD has their panel of judges, and judging at that level is just so analyzed and you get a lot of people that have put their blood, sweat, and tears into a multi-year effort in the series, and it's, I guess, more difficult to deal with the hate or the backlash that comes from calls that aren't necessarily loved by everyone. So that's one of the things that I wasn't in love with at the time while I was doing it.
Yeah.
So now events like this that are a little more laid back, that are fun, that are chill, I get to hang out with old friends and see a lot of people that I haven't seen in quite a few years now, being outside of the drift community. But yeah, I'm not opposed to doing these. I've always enjoyed being around drifting. I love drifting myself. But I think the joy was kind of lost from FD from my perspective, just over the amount of years that I did it. I did it for 13 years, I believe it was. So
It's taxing. It's
it is very
emotionally taxing.
Yeah. You know, and looking back, I wish I hadn't taken it so personally, but it's really hard when you put so much of your your attention and your time and your energy, and you feel like you're doing the job as best as it can be done.
Yeah.
And getting that type of backlash, it's hard to not take it personally, and it does take a toll on you. So it just felt like the right time.
Yeah, I would argue that having that level of emotional involvement, though, is what made you good at the job. Is that, like, because you cared so much, you're like, no, we're going to develop the rule book. We're going to change judging systems. We're going to change communication systems. We're going to do everything we can to make this as good as possible, not just to cut back on backlash. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, there's only going to be one person happy and 31 pissed off drivers.
Yeah.
But that emotional connection was like, okay, well, if it's not, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure this is as good as it possibly can be.
Yeah, and that's really the approach we took with it. It wasn't like, if I'm making this decision, what kind of pushback am I going to get? What type of negative feedback am I going to get? It wasn't. We never really approached it that way. You kind of knew sometimes with a decision you were making, not necessarily a judging decision, but a rule book decision or an organizational decision. You think, okay, people might not like this, but it's better for the sport overall, and we're going to go ahead with it. And it's really I got off Instagram. I'm sure I've said this before, and who really cares if I get off Instagram? It's not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but it's just one of those things that I felt like I needed to do at the time to disconnect and just focus on what we were doing. But, we were going all over the world basically doing this, and going to Japan. It was the same group that we'd go over with most of the time. And, I'm sure you've heard the amount of time we're stuck in the van driving all over Japan. Hours. And we would just analyze and go over every little idea of, like, what's the best way to judge this? What's the best way to set the track up? So it was constantly going in our heads, and it really consumed me for those years, especially in the mid to late part of that time. It was all we talked and discussed constantly. Yeah. So when you put that much of yourself into something, it's hard not to take negative feedback personally, and when it's not negative feedback about the decision you made, but about you as a person or you as a human being that is taking money or bribes or whatever the joke might be. We had a joke a minute ago where we said this is probably the first drift event ever that actually had a script. Because of the movie that's being filmed here has a script, and some people went, oh yeah, that's interesting to think of it that way, but it's amazing how many people, whether they were being authentic or not about it, would accuse us of having a script in that point in time. So, it's we're moving forward and trying to go on with our lives. And I think that the sport is being taken in the right direction by the guys that are there now. You still have Robbie Nishida, who's a very experienced driver, competitor, and judge for many years now. Brian Egger's been doing it a long time. Reese Marin still drives and drifts regularly himself, so he has a lot of positive things to bring to the conversation as well. And Vernon has been drifting all over the world for how many years now? In so many series, so he has a very diverse body of knowledge, I would say, from everything that he's done. So I feel like it was time for me to step away and let those people really, take the reins. So,
I mean, I hope you find the love for drifting again, even if it's like this weekend that spurs it. Because, I mean, it's super cool to have you around.
I definitely haven't lost the love. I still, like when I'm out on the track with one of those McLarens, it's takes everything in my power to not turn everything off and slide it around, which I still do and get in trouble for sometimes.
Oh, really?
When, tires get down a little bit, but it's not like buying a $75 or $100 tire to go out here in a cheaper car that I would do on my own. It's now you're looking at $1,000 or a couple $1,000s for tires on a car like that. So it's you try to have fun as much as you can, though.
Well, to get you into, like, do you have a drift car?
Not right now, but I've been talking to a lot of people about what should I do. The way my life has been going, I haven't had time or a place for one, but I'm hoping in the next little while I will. So
Arizona's got some stuff. There's some tracks around. Get yourself a Z or a G or a BMW or something.
Yeah. Well, I heard you have was it a G?
G35. Loving it.
Yeah.
Super happy. It just works.
The VQ sounds awful, but it works. It does what it needs to do, and the chassis is great.
If you don't straight pipe it, it's not that bad. And it's funny because I've got the trans out now to do the clutch. and I was looking up Y pipes to put in it. And I'm like, nope, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm like, I know it'll free up like 15 horsepower, but I'm like, I don't need it. I don't want to be that guy because it's quiet. It runs great. And I'm like, nope, I'm just going to throw the stock Y pipes back on and not be an asshole.
It's a great chassis. Whether you get the G35 Coupe sedan, 350Z, whatever you have,
Yeah.
I know it's a fantastic sedan. The BMW E36, E46, like that's a good
Even the
choice
E92s
as well.
and stuff now
Yeah.
have come down in price. Corvettes have come down in price. Like
Yeah.
so much available
good
to us
choice.
now. Yeah. We complain that there's not enough, but I'm like, man, there's a lot.
There is a lot.
There's a lot. Now we see, like what they're doing with the Audi and stuff out here. It's like, okay, it's like the Audi's always been right there, and we've just never jumped on it because of the center diff and the front diff and all that stuff. But like, there's ways to delete it and make it all work.
Yeah, you don't have to rely on those older cars anymore that are becoming more expensive and more cherished. Like looking at cars that are coming from Japan, they are still a little bit more money than most people want to spend on a car that they're going to, take to a track and beat up the average person. Looking at a $30,000 Chaser or something like that. While they're gorgeous and they perform really well, it's like, what does a car like that cost to actually run in the U.S. when parts break and you need to replace a windshield or things like that can get very pricey.
Brake boosters, stuff that's like specific to right-hand drive becomes a nightmare.
Yeah, so you don't have to rely on that stuff anymore. From the Mustang GR86, GT86, all the way up to BMWs and things like that, you can find an affordable drift chassis that you can go have fun with, and hopefully in whatever area you live in, there's a track and an event that you can participate in, whether it's just a fun track day or up to a competitive, an actual competition. There hasn't been a better time to be into drifting.
Yeah, I agree.
Ever.
Yeah, I think this is a great standpoint of that.
Yeah,
that we're here. With a Hollywood production, a very large production, much larger than I thought it was at first. We came in, I was like 15, 20 people here. I'm like, there's like 150 crew here.
Wow.
Yeah. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah. If you take a wander back around this way, you can see how many people are here. It's crazy.
So it's a pretty serious endeavor. And to have somebody taking drifting that seriously, to put the amount of money and time and energy that it takes to make a movie behind drifting, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good sign. Good sign. Sick, dude. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Great
Always
to see you.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, and hopefully we see you around the paddock a bit more.
Yeah, I hope so.
How good are you at spelling? Do you think you could spell? What does this say? What do these letters combined make? PODCAST 25. Podcast 25. You know what that spells? 20% savings. Crazy, right? Podcast 25 at checkout for the FD store. Now, it's only, you can't just yell it. You can't just go to the event, go to the booth and start screaming podcast 25 at them. Don't do that. Please don't do that. It would be kind of funny, but don't do it because it won't work. Discount codes don't work that way. You got to go to the store online, check it out, grab some FD merch. You got one shot at this too. I don't know if I explained this earlier, but this is the time. Build a big cart. Use the code because it's 20% off. The way percentages work, the more you buy, the more you save. Very simple.
Brian Hop, the audio engineer. It's okay. So I've realized over the years of doing these podcasts, there's two things that are true. The more enthusiastic the clap, the better the show is going to be.
Okay.
And then the worse, the better the driver, the worse they are with technology.
Oh, so I'm amazing at driving.
Yeah. Dude, James Dean, it was like an hour just trying to get him to like get his mic set up. Like, James, it's 2 plugs. I send everything with instruction. Like, I send a mic. I'm like, James, it's 2 plugs. It's going to take 5 seconds. And he had to call Becky in. And
I don't know. I can see it because even Chelsea, he had like a wiring issue with his Mustang earlier this week. He's like, I know how to do everything on this car except for wire it. And all I have now is like technology-related problems.
Yeah, that's where he's at with the car.
Yeah, and then I'm the same way.
Yeah, I'm good with some. I can't do car wiring. It scares me.
I'm a nuts and bolts guy.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
You should start running. You should go carbureted V8. That seems to be doing well.
I've been beat by one a lot this year. Maybe I will. He's obviously doing something I'm not.
He's good, man.
He is good.
He's good.
And he's a nice guy, so you can't hate him.
I know. I know. It's like one thing when someone's really good and they're kind of a dink, and you're like,
yeah, right.
But like when they're not nice.
A stand-up guy.
Yeah.
I think he plays a little trickery. He's like, I don't know my wheel speed. I only do this. I have this screwdriver.
So?
I think he plays dumb a little. He knows a little more about car setup than he leads on to believe.
I think he's just got a really good feel, is what it is. Like, he's like, this isn't right. I don't know what the number is, but I know it ain't right.
And he's very good at being aggressive. But he's like calculated and aggressive.
Yeah.
And those are the things I've been having trouble with balance-wise.
Yeah, I mean, not to like dissect your year, but it's just like you got to be ready to bin the car, man. I think is that like where you feel?
I think
it
it's
is?
like I did everything right outside of the car, in my opinion.
Okay.
Right team members, the
Yeah.
right car setup of sorts, like engine-wise and suspension-wise, and even people adjusting those things. And then I kind of just dropped the ball on my own mental prep, maybe, and I underestimated FD's hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
And a lot of the drifting I've done, it's like you show up to a 3-day grassroots event and you just hammer down and drive.
Yeah.
This hurry up and wait pace stuff and get through a practice session, figure something out you need to know for your own inputs, and then you go cold for a while, and then you have to bring that, what you've learned, back right to the next lap you do 2-3 hours later. It's tough.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot going on with FD, and I underestimated it. I think it's affected me a little bit, but
Happens.
I feel myself being a better driver, even though the results aren't showing it necessarily. When I go outside of those events, or even towards the end of a non-successful FD weekend,
Yeah.
I go from like not knowing what to do or feeling a lack of confidence or something, and then improving instead of just moving backwards. So there's been a forward progression. Just everyone wants to be the champion. Everyone wants to be rookie of the year. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Utah is a big deal. There's a lot of points to be had still. We'll see.
Yeah, there's a lot. For the record, Brian Hop, everybody. Hoplamazian?
Hoplamazian, you got it.
Oh, dude, I've been thinking about it the whole
The
time.
Armenian way is Hoplamazian.
Hoplamazian?
But Americanized.
I didn't know you're Armenian.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
big System of a Down fan then?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Funny
Okay.
enough, I think they're playing in New York on Wednesday.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's sick. That's sick. I
Yeah.
just finished Serge Tankian's book, and like it's half about him, half about the history of Armenia. I was like, I did not think I'd be getting.
There's
like,
a lot to dive in there.
Well, I'm not getting into on this show,
No,
but
no.
that is a big subject.
And I don't know how to talk about it anyway.
Yeah,
so
fair enough.
I
Yeah,
have to
not
do
on
some
this
research.
show.
Yeah.
Dude, the hurry up and wait is tough. I think with a party weekend, you go when you're ready to go,
Yep.
or when your boys are ready to go, or whatever. This is no, you go when we tell you. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, there's a crash. Okay, now you go when we tell
Right.
you to. So it's tough, dude. I don't envy you guys at all.
Seating bracket's tough too to adjust to.
Yeah.
I always consider myself a decent qualifying driver. Planning for where you qualify to who you go against, it's a lot more what I know.
Yeah.
And then seating bracket, I was just like, I don't know, it threw me for a little loop.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I still argue that seating bracket's the best thing to happen to Pro Spec. I know that's a controversial take, but if you look at how good the competition's gotten since seating came in,
Yeah.
I do think a lot of the drivers who would traditionally not do as well have gotten more battles out of it, and I think it reduces the amount of setup you need for like a qualifying setup,
Right.
versus just a battle setup.
I see all those as a positive.
Yeah.
The only negative I really see with seating bracket, number one, it's brand new, and curmudgeons and old timers like me and drifting are going to hate most of what's new.
Right. Yeah.
But
Change
then
is scary.
in all seriousness, it is harder on the car.
Yeah.
It is a lot more consumption when you have to do the seating bracket. And I feel like I got caught in a bit of a funk this year of like, I just stated I'm going to be in the seating bracket for every round. So it's almost like I'm doing, we'll call it 6 rounds instead of 4, because there's a top 16 and points to be had every round on top of the top 32.
Right.
Even if I don't make it through top 32, it's still the same amount of prep, and there's a lot of consumption right before you even get to that top 32 battle.
Okay, that's fair.
That's my only real gripe with it.
I guess, yeah, but the upside is like you have the consumption, but consumption means seat time.
Right.
That's how I look at
True.
it. You
That's
can,
a good point.
You can just pick a different word for that same problem, right?
You chose a positive manner of
yeah,
explaining
I mean,
it.
hey, I gotta argue a little bit, but
Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying. How tough is it being kind of a local legend and then jumping up into
legend.
Well, okay. So and I'm not going to profess to know everything about the culture of New Jersey.
Yeah.
This place is so special. It's so rooted. For me to like try and summarize the history of this place is just not doing it justice. But
Yeah.
realistically, there's not been a ton of guys that have come from the Bloodmasters group, the DA group. Obviously, they did well, but like,
Of course.
it feels like there's a bit of this outlook on competition. It's like, why go compete, man? We've got everything we need here.
Yeah.
Right. Quebec kind of has a similar mentality where it's like you don't need to go anywhere else. We've got everything you need
Yeah,
here.
we have the fun at home.
Yeah.
Like,
So why would do you feel any of that where it's like, why are you leaving to go drive there when we have the best drivers here?
there's certainly like the local crowd that asks that question, like, are you having fun? Like, what's making you do this? Those kinds of things to
Yeah.
imply like we have enough fun out of here. And we do. There's plenty of great grassroots driving within Englishtown or even within the 5-6 hour circle where we're standing right now.
The Northeast has incredible amount of driving.
But I felt myself plateauing in a major way for like years before I even got to Pro Spec. And that's when I decided to build a car with Brian Wilkerson to have myself just challenged in a different way. Because I really never competed until I had this car I'm driving in Pro Spec. And I don't know, I don't like feeling stagnant. I always want to improve in some way, shape, or form. And you can only be so good at party events and grassroots drifting. And my main motivator was just to try and be a better driver.
Is it like that question of like, what if? Like you see everybody on TV.
What if starting sooner, you mean?
Yeah, or even, I mean that, or even just like you see everybody on TV and be like, what if I competed? What if I was at that track that day? How would I do?
Yeah, I mean, I did see a lot of people that I considered as good of a driver or I was a little better or vice versa doing and being successful. And what if was one of the motivators. Yeah, like certainly.
You're good. Don't worry about it.
I know. I was wondering how loud that is.
No, dude, it's crazy.
Can't hear it too well, or too bad.
No. These things are phenomenal.
Yeah, I definitely was like, okay, if these guys can do it, like, why? What's stopping me from seeing how good I can be?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, fair.
It's
now
easy.
You know.
Being a Monday morning quarterback and drifting is way underestimated. Like I was a Monday morning quarterback before getting into FD.
Yeah.
Saying to myself, like, watching guys be unsuccessful and be like, why isn't he just transitioning like this or doing this here? Then I get there and I'm like, wow, I'm making the same mistakes or worse. Like, it's very different. Hard to see and feel what is actually happening via the screen versus the cockpit of the car.
You realize you're talking to the ultimate, like, armchair quarterback, right? My entire job is to...
You've based your career on a portion of it.
My entire job is correcting the best in the world at what they do best. And people are like, do you even drive? I'm like, a little. Like,
see, at least you have some driving experience.
Yeah. But, like, not to this caliber.
No.
But I don't know.
But there's an understanding there.
Yeah, there is.
You can hear it in the way you announce.
I appreciate that. It's tough, man. There's been days where pro drivers have come out and be like, bro, like, what the heck? Like, why? Why are you talking to me? I'm like, what do you, like, drive better. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. like, I don't want to talk about it this way.
Yeah.
But you miss an entire zone. I can't ignore that.
You can't get mad at me describing what you've given me to see.
Oh, I might take that one.
Yeah, that's
good.
Right.
That's good. Well, dude, I hope Utah goes well. I hope you pick up those points.
I appreciate it.
I really want to see you come back next year. Is there any thoughts or plans with that yet?
I mean, I really wanted to give it at least 2-3 years, whatever I'm able to do. I don't know where that line of points required to be invited next year is. I know if there is some form of line like that, I'm close to it. Yeah. So I really would. My main goal is to score as many points as possible in Utah. Of course, it's kind of obvious, but
yeah, I think it's a good track for you.
Yeah,
I think you'll do well there.
I like fast tracks.
Yeah,
so I like all tracks.
They're making some changes, so that'll be nice. They're not running it backwards, unfortunately. I know. But dude, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And hopefully, maybe we'll set up a full show.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm totally down.
That means I got to like dive through your entire history and social media.
I know.
So just be ready
There's probably a lot to dive into there.
There's a lot, and like for
or
the
it's
record,
boring. Who knows?
Everybody here knows you, so like the research will be so easy.
The call list will be long.
Oh, dude, yeah. That'll be the hard part. Is like how many people I'm gonna have to call to like.
I'll give you the list so you don't get those like F that guy phone calls.
No, I need those too.
There's a couple in there.
Yeah. Hey, there's one right there. Yeah, we'll get him on next.
Sick.
Right,
Thanks for doing this.
No worries. I just realized you're wearing a Brian Hop shirt too.
Yeah, you like that?
That's good. It's the best shirt.
It's a decent shirt.
I gotta make sure I'm not
I've worn better
somewhere yet. Ryan Tuerck mentioned me in a story. Damn,
Ooh,
getting famous now.
Getting the follows.
I know. I don't know if your nickname is actually this, but I've been calling you Sticky Ricky Hofmann, and I have no idea why. Like, there's nothing sticky about you.
No, I mean, well, it depends how sweaty I am the day, or like if I'm covered in oil for my car or something.
That's
you
fair.
never know.
Yeah, or snacks, just powdered donuts or something.
Yeah, hey, listen, love a good powdered donut.
Fair enough. Dude, how you been?
Not bad. It's been a pretty up and down year for me for drifting. I popped the motor a little earlier in the year, but I bought a house, so I kind of put drifting off to the side for a little bit, but I'm still working for Matt Bystrack and Alex Yeager and Prospects. I'm running around with them. I help Hop, not too much with his program at the track, but like, me and him talk about a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Always here driving, always here at the naps and everything. So I've taken a step back from my driving, but I'm still all full bore in it for everyone else.
That's good. I mean, it's tough when both the financial of losing an engine and then the house part. I mean, if you think losing an engine hurts,
buy a house.
Yeah. And then realizing like how much you're paying just in interest. Where you're like,
oh, it's
I
disgusting.
paid $6 on principal this month.
You're killing it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, man, we're really doing well. We could double up on payments. You're like,
Still don't get much.
Yeah. Growing up kind of sucks, doesn't
It's
it?
the worst. It's a trap. It's a trap.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like, I think back, I'm like, man, I should have just stayed on my mom's couch.
Yeah.
Like,
way cheaper.
Dude, I would have been so much further ahead.
I got 3 drift cars.
Yeah. I might have one that's finished.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
So what are you doing driving wise? Have you gotten out at all, or obviously we're here. You're doing some driving. But
So it's funny. The last LZ World Tour that we had here, I actually drove, and that's when I hurt the motor.
Yeah.
I was down to 4 cylinders instead of 6. Got to run a 2J. Finished the event there, and then basically kind of parked the car, did the house stuff and work stuff, and helping everyone else stuff. And then this event popped up, so we actually put the motor in last week. Got it on the dyno. It was good to go. Brought it here and had some like small little issues. Nothing crazy though, but it's ripping today. So I'm super happy about that.
do you know what ended up going in that engine?
Yeah, cylinder 1 at 40 psi, cylinder 2 at 60. The rings just gave up.
Just finally went.
Yep. I mean, it had 4.5 years on it of
dude,
the straight abuse.
You cannot.
Oh no, I
argue
can't
with that.
complain at all. And like, I brought my head to the machine shop, and my guy Ryan, he's like, "Oh, you need all new valve springs. All your valves are destroyed." I'm like, "Well, do I need new valve springs?" He's like, "I think you're floating them." He's like, "But how much you hit limiter?" And I was like, "Well, my ECU counted 44,000 times last year." And he's like,
gosh.
"All right, maybe you don't need springs. I'll check them all and then just order all new valves." And he's like, "Yeah, your springs are fine. You're just a jerk off on the pedal." So I was like, "All right, fair enough."
That sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Damn, that's wild. That's a good build then, dude.
Yeah.
That's a
I
great
got a
build.
long time out of that. So it's a Rad Dan 2JZ bottom end.
There it is.
And I'm sponsored by UEM and King Bearings. So I got
Okay.
UEM pistons in it with King Bearings. I got the Rad Dan spec rods and all his stuff. His
Rings,
machine shop
yeah.
takes care of it. And they do the billet mains for me and everything. And I just get it in one package. It shows up on a pallet. And then I put my cylinder head on it. It's got a Real Street head package in it from one of their drag cars.
Sick. Yeah,
And
that's great.
It's pop in, go, super easy. It just made on a small turbo, a G3900, made 500 horsepower on 11 pounds, and it made 750 on 22 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
it's like-
pretty much capped at 22. I mean, you could
Yeah.
probably bump that.
Oh yeah,
but yeah.
that's the most my wastegate will let me go because I have a 10-pound spring in the gate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Got
so
it.
because I'm not really competing too much with it anymore, I was
Yeah.
like party car, keep the power down, because otherwise I know me, I'll be like turn it up, give me everything the whole
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as you got to pull out a wrench though to like change the spring out, you're like, nah, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
that's-
700 is like more than enough for even if I were to go back to Pro Spec, like that's a kind of a good starting point for where I'd want to be anyway. I
Yeah.
did the big horsepower thing. I went out there with 900 horsepower and like all the grip to the moon, and every event we just kept dialing it back to like get it where we wanted. So it's like you got to like give and take a lot,
Yeah.
especially when you're competing, and you have to tell yourself like I don't need everything. And that's the biggest issue with competition. Is I want to be the fastest. I want to be the most gripped. I want to be this. You go out there and like breaking parts for no reason and like driving off the track when you shouldn't be, and you're overusing the left foot brake when you shouldn't be, and like you need to like bring your whole self back 10% to keep
Yeah.
yourself where you need to be.
I had a friend once tell me first time I started running nitrous in the car, and he's like, "Okay, what are you comfortable with?" I'm like, "I think 100 shots fine." He's like, "Okay, put in 100 and then throw all the jets away." I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "Because then you won't put 125 in, you won't
Yep.
put 150." And he's
Yep.
like, "As soon as you're comfortable with where it's at, throw the rest away. Don't ever look at them again."
Yep, that's like Grant.
Like,
So Grant and I had Mike Martino yesterday, and he's like messing with it. I'm putting a bigger jet in. Puts a bigger jet in. They do all this tuning stuff. Goes out there, gets his ass kicked.
Yeah, yeah. And I think where do you stand on like changes in cars, like throughout practice and throughout competition? I think this is maybe I'm like stoking an old flame here of like, because I feel like a lot of drivers inherently know what they need to do to set up a car before they get to the track. To me, it's like make a couple of small tweaks, but try to keep it as consistent as possible. Don't be like making these big shifts all the way through practice to try and look for something that doesn't make sense.
Right. So there's hit or misses on that.
Okay.
Because sometimes like I can show up to like the English town and I know the
Get in here,
exact
go for it.
I know the exact setup I need in my car when I come here.
Yeah.
Like to like very very close, and then you're only making a couple little adjustments. When I go to different tracks, like the first time I went to Seattle or the first time I went to Utah, like we were like looking in all the stuff. Like I know exactly. I think I know where I need to be. Put everything in, get in there. Complete miss.
Yeah.
Like couldn't even get around the track. So it really depends what you want to do, but you really need to set the car up for how you're driving it that day, in
Okay.
my opinion. Now, Pro 1 is probably different.
Yeah.
Pro 1 is like, I need to set this car up to be able to hang with everybody.
Yeah.
Where Pro Spec is, you need to set the car for how you're driving that day to get yourself around the track the best, because consistency will win you through Pro Spec more times than not.
Yeah, I
There's
agree.
definitely guys in Pro Spec where you're like, yo, this dude is this dude's a killer. I
yeah.
really need to make sure that I'm up to snuff with him. But for the most part, they get through the seating and through the 32, and the 16 to the 8s where you really need to start kind of dialing it in for the people around you. But before then, you can really take a step back and make sure that you run your line, especially with how they're judging this year, where they're really focusing heavy on the leads.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
it's
it's great.
good. Yeah, it's really made a dynamic shift in a lot of the way the drivers drive the setup. I feel like there's a lot less games being played.
Yeah.
There's just a lot less, frankly, bullshit going on.
Oh,
with, like,
yeah.
weird staging or guys doing weird stuff off the line, stuff like that. They're being called out now.
Yeah,
and it's good.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, I agree. No, I'm always, obviously I'm a company man,
Right.
but I do think that FD is in a really good place.
Yeah.
There's always going to be complaints about track and judging and
Oh,
commentary
always.
and whatever,
Yep.
but it's we're getting so nitpicky in our complaints now, which tells me that we've fixed so many big problems.
Getting close.
Yeah.
Yes.
And people are always going to complain.
Right.
Right.
Yep. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even me when I was in it, there was always those few things that I really hated.
Yeah.
But those few things were always outshined by the hundreds of things that were great. There is so much going on with an FD when you show up there as a driver and a team owner that you have to focus in on and kind of kick a lot of stuff to the side and realize I have to drive. If you start nitpicking little stuff here and there, you're gonna self-implode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Essentially. And even any of the complaints that I have had, I've tried to keep within the FD, the Discord and just the people. I don't run on the internet and trash FD on the internet. They are giving us the tracks, they're giving us the space, they're giving us everything to show ourselves.
Yeah.
It's up to us to do that. And if I almost burnt, I think it was my second season in or so, I almost got so mad at FD that I left, and I had to kind of think a little bit and be okay, I just need to do me, and that is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm here to drive kind of thing.
Yeah, and I always look at the complaints on the internet and the complaints from drivers and whoever as I'm happy that you have that much passion in what we're doing that you feel the need to express your opinion.
Yeah.
If everyone's yeah, whatever, that to me is scarier than people getting mad about situations.
Correct.
The fans getting mad about a call, as much as sometimes it sucks because sometimes it's an uninformed anger. And if you just understood the rules a bit better, you'd be all right. But I also look at that and go, that's on me to present those rules better or explain the rules better.
Yes.
And but I'm also happy that fan is so invested in what's going on that
They want their voice heard about
exactly. They took time out of their
Yep.
day to get on their keyboard
Yeah.
and yell into the void.
Yep.
Cool, man.
sure.
I'm happy you're stoked about it.
Yeah. I mean, the fans, the only reason why we could do any of this is because of the fans. Because if they
100%.
weren't showing up, they float the bill for the tracks. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? We pay a very small fee to get into it, to do what we have to do.
All
We
things
don't pay
considered.
enough to rent all these tracks all
Yeah.
year long and all of FD's staff and people that everything.
Yeah.
We definitely don't pay Andy Luck's salary. I can tell you that right now.
No.
So, without the fans, we'd be screwed. So, keeping them happy, but also, them being angry at calls and, being even disliking drivers but liking other drivers, that's
Good.
awesome. That's
Good.
what we need.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah, if everybody loved everybody, it'd be a little weird.
It would be very weird.
Yeah.
There's definitely, even my best friends, I've driven against them before and we've gotten into full bore arguments at the track. You hit me. No, you were in the wrong spot and you did this and da-da-da-da-da.
Is that you and Bystruck?
No, me and Alex.
Oh,
Alex
in Jaeger?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
We got into it big time one time. Yeah,
Really?
in St. Louis. I don't think you were announcing yet.
No, okay.
Yeah, so we were actually coming around turn 2, going to when the inner clip was still there in St. Louis. And
Okay.
he dove to the inside of me and kind of cut me off to get there.
Oh.
But I stayed on my line and we hit wheel to wheel.
Yeah.
And they called it on him. And we went back in or whatever, and I was like, "Damn, that sucks that we it ended up like that, whatever." And he's like, "F you, F this, da 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 da. We're protesting." And he's
I
in
remember
his,
this.
And he's in his car, and I just looked at him, I was like, "I'll just beat you again." And I walked away, and I turned around, and his car is shaking. He's like, "Ah!" But me and him are very good friends,
Yeah.
and him, his wife, his whole family, everyone, they're
Oh, he's a
super
great
awesome.
guy.
Yeah, he's one of my best friends. And we very shortly after that, we're like, "Yeah, we were hot about it. It's not a big deal."
It happens all the time.
Oh,
though, man.
yeah.
All the time. I do wish we showed those stories more.
Oh, it'd be awesome.
Because
Yeah.
I've been saying this for a bit. We kind of need a bad guy in drifting again.
I think if this would never work.
Okay.
But if FD did a subscription to Rated RFD,
Oh, bro,
dude,
bro. But
everyone would pay $9.99 for that.
if it was just unlimited in-car feeds of
Yeah.
what it looks like in those cars,
Yeah.
with a microphone,
Yep.
bro, this shit talk. I remember I've worked for a few drivers.
Right.
I won't say which ones.
Yeah.
You know which ones I've
Yeah,
worked
yeah.
for. One in particular is quite outspoken.
Yeah.
And some of the shit, I'd pull up, I
Oh,
pull
yeah.
the in-car cameras out, and I'm like, bro, I got to get rid of all of
Yeah, I
this.
can't use any of this.
I'm like, you're yelling over the engine in the car at
Yep.
the driver in front of you.
Yeah. Oh, it
You
gets
guys
heated,
get
man.
heat? Yeah, it's
Well,
great.
it gets heated for multiple reasons. One, you spend a ton of money to do this,
and
right?
time.
And time. So like, the most heated that I've ever been is when I went to Utah and I got knocked out in top 32.
Okay.
Because for me living here, to drive across the whole country,
Yeah.
to have a very minor car issue that could have been prevented.
That was first year, right?
Yeah, first year, and then go out in 32. I'm just like, dude, I just spent like 20 grand on this event to come out here and get knocked out in the first round. I was
Do
like,
one battle.
like,
I got it.
yeah. But
get
like,
it.
if you don't get mad about it, you shouldn't be there anymore.
Why? Yeah.
You should. If you get to the point where you're like, yeah, I lost, whatever, I'm kind of done with this. Like, you're probably not in a headspace where you should be there competing.
You're not gonna win.
You're not gonna win.
You're not gonna win.
No.
Yeah. Sorry. It's just how it is. Yeah.
It's like you can. Me and all my friends would say this all the time. Luck, it will always beat skill.
Yeah.
But your luck does have a run out point, and it just depends where it starts and where it runs out. And you might only have that split second, so you might get through a battle, maybe 2 on luck. Third and fourth battle, probably not going to happen for you like that. Yeah.
I've heard luck is preparedness meets opportunity.
Yep.
You got to be ready for luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to take it when you can.
Yeah, exactly.
And we also say win some, lose more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's really only, out of 40 drivers, there's one winner.
One winner. That's it. Yeah.
I think I said it to Lanteigne earlier. I'm like, yeah, there's one happy guy and 31 pissed off drivers.
That's it. Yeah.
That's an FD event.
Yeah, I judge events here, like the gamblers. That guy right there, Chris, you just still gets that in. I judge gamblers here a bunch, and I'll have 2 guys happy with me, and then everyone else hates me at the end of the event. And
That's
I'm
how
just
it
like,
goes.
oh, okay, whatever.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Sick. Thank you so much. I'm glad we got this catch up.
Yeah, definitely.
And make sure to, I was going to say, make sure to check out Brian Hop's stuff.
No, don't check Brian Hop out. No one likes that guy.
Yeah. Oh, terrible.
No.
Everybody loves Hop.
No, I love Hop.
Yeah.
I'm a big supporter of Hop. He's one of my best friends. I'm like, trying to talk him through the year because it is his rookie year, and I've done it for 5 or 6 years now. And we'll have probably 2 to 3 hour-long conversations a week about life, FD, his work, my work, everything. We talk all. He's the best.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, well, follow Brian Hop.
Yeah.
And Ricky Hoffman.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sick.
This is a sick setup.
It's not bad. It's the same headsets that we use for broadcast.
Oh, okay.
So
Nice.
they're really good at like noise canceling. So
Yeah.
even in the pits and stuff, if you go back and listen to it later, like guys are driving by, you'll have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it just picks this up. So
Nice.
Nick DAlessio, absolute legend of this place. And dude, everybody that I talked to, I'm like, I got to interview. You got to get over to Nick. You got to go. So
Hell yeah.
tell me a little bit about yourself. I know a little bit. You did compete in FD, so
Yep.
you meet the criteria for the podcast, which is great.
Yep. It was a long time ago, 2012. I started here just doing grassroots events when it was a parking lot before we even had the road course.
Yeah.
It was a blast. I came one time. I was not into drifting, just trying to market Elite JDM, my business. And I came one time and I never left.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'd heard from a lot of the OG guys that Elite was the place that was always open if you needed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That, like, you would break and you'd be like, here are the keys. Let's go into the shop.
Yep.
Leave it better than you found it.
Yep.
And
When
just
it
do what you need to
wasn't,
do.
yeah, exactly. When we weren't open, the calls were forwarded to my phone. People
That's
needed
crazy.
something. I would bring cartloads of stuff to the track, parts, and nobody ever had a problem. Anyone, if they had an S chassis or a common chassis, had all the parts for them.
Wow. That's awesome. I mean, that's we still see brands trying to do that today. So
Yeah.
you kind of set a precedent very, very early.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's wicked. The car you brought out,
Yeah,
legendary.
so this is my first car drifting.
Yeah.
Put this car together in 2007, started drifting in 2008, and I've been drifting it ever since. I've had some other cars in between, some missile cars and stuff, but this has been the car. This is the car I brought to FD. Wasn't super competitive, but I still got out there, had fun.
Yeah.
Marketing the company, networking, meeting people is the best thing I ever did.
Yeah, it's. I think that's something that gets overlooked a lot. Obviously, people want to be competitive; they want to win and stuff. But putting it up on the stage, especially at that time in that era, like I'm sure that helped quite a lot.
Absolutely, it was a lot of fun, great experience. Taught me a lot about driving. I was on Forsberg's rig, so I learned a lot from him, and
cool.
it was huge.
What were the early days like here? Like, I know you weren't necessarily day one, but fairly close to it. But like,
Yep.
What was this place like in the very early times?
It was a tight community. There was a handful of guys, and it was just helping everyone that came. Anyone new coming, everybody wanted to build everybody up. Mike Knapp here at Englishtown was obviously in the ground level. He made it all possible. And I'm sure you guys had probably some interviews with him and stuff like that. He's made it all possible. Matt Petty, obviously.
Yeah.
Tim, Tony Angelo, Chris Forsberg. These guys that are started Club Loose back in the DG Trials days.
Yep.
Huge. And again, it was a really tight-knit community when I got into it. So there wasn't a lot of people. And now it has grown to be, unreal.
Is it kind of strange to hear how people talk about this place so fondly being in it? Like, as somebody, I mean, I grew up in the Northeast, but up in Canada,
right?
And I knew about this place
Yep.
and only got to come here a few years ago for the first time. But like, this was like Mecca to anybody that was East Coast drifter.
Yeah, for me, it's not a surprise.
Yeah.
Because being here, you know why people are saying what they're saying. So, I mean, I've had nothing but good things to say about it from day one. And I'm always trying to entice people to get into it. Even people who aren't into drifting, come out and watch, because I wasn't into drifting until I came, and changed my life.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite people, some of my best friends today, I met here.
How have you, seen this sport progress over that time? And I mean, it can just be the grassroots. Like, we don't need to get into the pro level of stuff, but like, what stayed the same and what has changed in your opinion?
I mean, aside from the people, not much has changed. The vibe is so good, and it was in the beginning, and it still is now. The only difference is the numbers. There's so many more people. Before, when I started, I knew everybody there within a month. I've been back out for probably about 3 years now, maybe 4, and I still don't know half the drivers. So, that's it in numbers.
Just growing,
yeah,
like exponentially.
Exactly.
Is there anybody back from the old days that like, you maybe doesn't get enough attention? It's pretty easy to point to Chris and Vaughn and Ryan and those guys, but like, they made it to the big stages. They've all done incredible things. But like, is there somebody you remember back in the day? You're like, man, if somebody would have just seen this kid, or he would have gotten a little bit more funding. Maybe it's you, maybe it's somebody else, but like, they would have been the next big driver.
Well, and like, I started at the same time as like Jeff Stoneback, Brian Hop. We all kind of started at the same time. Those guys always had what it took. And obviously they have been out there. Hop's out there this year.
Yeah.
He's
Stoneback had a great career.
Yeah, exactly.
He's out here. He's driving like crazy.
Yeah, he's ripping. He's always a ripper. I mean, he's had some tough breaks, this season, but I mean, it's just how it is. You're not going to, everything has to line up to have a perfect event. So, it's really easy to have, an event that doesn't go well, but he's been killing it. He's been killing it since day one. I always idolized him in our immediate group. Starting at the same time, I always idolized him, and I knew he was going to be a ripper.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Stoneback's definitely one of those drivers where just a couple of weird things throughout the career just stop them from being on top.
Yeah, of course. And honestly, like even now, like what he's doing now, I mean, seeing his daughter in the car, I love seeing Ari in the car. I mean, every time I pull up next to him, I'm pulling out my phone and I'm sending it. I'm sending it to my daughter so she can say, I'm like, I need you to get in the car. This is so much fun. Ari's having so much fun. So again, I love what Jeff's doing right now. I love what Hop's doing, and it's amazing to see them progress.
It's cool to see those drivers now with kids.
Yep.
And it won't be long until like those kids are competing. I mean, Brutsky out here competing against his kid, like, it'll be a few more years, but like Tuerck's kid, I mean, that's gonna be nuts. Vaughn's kid will be out soon. Like,
these are the future of drifting. Yep.
Yeah. It's wild. I mean, I'm in that in between age range between you guys. So like, my kids still got a little bit to go before they're doing that, but to know that second generation is coming.
It's coming. It's coming and coming quick.
Yeah.
Before you know it. My daughter's 11 now, and she was out here yesterday supporting. She's gonna be back out here today, and like just seeing her in the gear, painted face. I mean, it just a whole nother outlook. I didn't have that when I started drifting, so now having that is huge.
Yeah, it's gotta be a bit of a trip, man. I'm sure that was a kind of an emotional moment for you too.
It is insane. I love seeing it.
Yeah, any way that we can progress the sport or keep the generations going. Drifting's as big as it ever has been in my opinion.
Absolutely.
I think if you look back, there's some eras where we point out and go, oh, it was really big in like 08, which it was, like huge rigs, big sponsors and stuff. But I mean, if you count the amount of people in the world drifting, it has never been bigger.
No, absolutely not. I mean, it just every year after year, exponential growth.
Yeah. Have you had an opportunity to go out and drive other places? You just kind of stuck to this area?
So no, I mean, back before FD, I went out to Canada. I was doing I was doing XDC, so I was out in Texas.
Oh, dude. Okay, XDC.
So XDC days were my favorite days. That's where I met everyone that wasn't local. Like I was driving with Nate Hamilton and those guys.
DeNofa,
Yeah, exactly. So it was, that was what stepped up my driving level, driving with these better drivers.
Okay.
And I went out to Canada. They had XDC versus DMCC at that time.
That was wild. That's a wild event.
Had a blast out there. And then, events like Maple Leaf Bash, that Kevin Darvish runs, stuff like that. Like, we went out and did that as a collab with Club Loose. So, I mean, I've been around. And then obviously FD took me all over the country. But, within this country, I mean, It's funny, we were talking about it yesterday. I used to import, obviously, from Japan. And before I was actually into drifting, I was just getting my feet wet. I didn't have a car yet. I was out there dismantling cars, talked to someone, and they said, oh, there's a big event down at Ibisu circuit. I didn't even know what it was.
Okay.
And it was Autumn Drift Matsuri. So
wow.
I ended up, I had an R33 that we were about to cut up, and it was like the only car that was like worthwhile driving, had coilovers, had everything it needed to drift. I just took all the wheels before we loaded it on the container, put them in the back of a truck. We towed it down there. The company that did all my dismantling supported me 100%. They let me take the trailer. Like I had to bring a couple of people with me. And yeah, it was great. So my first real experience drifting was at Ibisu.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Dude, talking about jumping the shark right off the bat, though.
Yeah. It wasn't. It was a killer experience. I didn't do the greatest driving.
No, but like,
I learned a ton because I didn't know anybody, so I was just focused on driving, and I left there knowing how to drift.
As somebody who's known for bringing the best eats and drinks to a racetrack, what is the quintessential? Where are guys screwing up? What needs to be in the trailer? What's the best food and drink to bring to the track?
I mean, honestly, I'm big on food. I love good food. I don't like to eat like crap, So when you come to the track, you have slim pickings. And I mean, going back to the early days, obviously, Jared coined me Nick Delicious. Throws pork roll in there every now and then. It was the story behind that was one morning, I think it was East Coast Bash. They were all out there. And, in the morning, I would have a full, big, 42-inch grill setup that I would bring to the track every event. And I would have a, huge cooler with tons of food. I would be throwing food away, and I would be feeding everyone.
Yeah.
And I was just making pork roll, egg, and cheese sandwiches for everybody. And I called them over, and that was it.
Classic New Jersey
that became the name.
Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So now I kind of stepped it up a little bit. I'm making pizzas at the track. So
okay, you get a pizza oven and everything?
I do. I bring it to the track. I wish I brought it this weekend.
That's all good.
Because I have some time today. I could have been making pizzas. But yeah, no, it's great. Eating healthy, and everybody loves it.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of. I worked in kitchens for like 10 years.
Nice.
So big barbecue guy. Yep. I'll always bring a smoker wherever I'm going. Yep. Brisket, ribs, all that stuff. I think it's important.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to eat like shit.
Absolutely.
Bags of chips, and I mean everyone loves Wawa, but you can only eat so much of it.
Yeah, you can only eat so much. That's like the backup for me. I don't want that to be my main. I don't want that to be my go-to.
No, that's like emergency.
Exactly. Yeah. And at Club Loose at East Coast Bash, now we got the Grub Masters. They're smoking meats. They've been doing it for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Smoking meat. So we collab one year. I was making pizzas. Any leftovers they had of the pork and things like that, we put it on the pizza. Damn. It was amazing. It was probably the best. It was probably our best eats.
Yeah, it's cool. I think I've talked about. I want to do a series of exploring different drift events, and I think you have to put the food in that.
Absolutely.
Because every event that I go to, there's always one or two drivers that can cook.
Yep.
There's always something going on.
Yep.
Up at the track I grew up at Shannonville in Ontario.
Yep.
There was always a guy with kebabs.
Nice.
And he had a big, charcoal kebab grill.
Oh my God.
And it was you'd be 2 a.m.
You're making me hungry.
Oh, dude, it's so good. But every event that I've gone to, Lake Erie Speedway, there's always somebody there cooking.
Yep.
Even at FD, the tailgating stuff. Food is so intrinsic with what we do in drifting.
Absolutely. You need the food. You need the fuel to be out there and drive and have fun. And it's also like a social thing, We're out there, everybody's sharing food, passing all food. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Great
the food,
vibe.
the drink, the culture. It's the drifting is great.
Yeah.
But to me, what makes these events amazing is everything that happens once the track goes cold.
Exactly.
That's the time you make the friends.
Yep.
All you're doing is shit talking.
There's no other motorsport that has the culture that we have in drifting.
Agreed.
And this
100%.
is why I guess it's year 17 that I've been doing it. I can't get away from it.
Yeah.
No matter how old I get, no matter how much money it costs, I cannot get away.
Yeah. I get it. I mean, I'm only 10 years into this sport.
Yep.
And I can't imagine doing anything else at this point.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's why would I?
No.
And you go anywhere, you can find drifting now, which is amazing. Anywhere in the world. You're 3 hours from a track.
And the funny part is you can go on the other side of the world and you'll know someone. Because the community is so tight on the internet. Everybody talks.
Yeah.
And even if you've never met someone, you can see someone and it's like you've known them forever.
Or you're in an emergency.
Yeah.
I had something happen last year where my truck broke down, between Chattanooga and Nashville, middle of nowhere.
Right.
And blew the engine, melted a piston in a Cummins, bad situation.
Wow.
Trailer on the back. I was moving to Florida. And I just posted, it was 2 a.m. This is where I'm at. My truck broke down. 3 different drivers reached out. Hey, I can't get to you tonight. If you can sleep, I'll be there in the morning. I got my truck. And a dude from a racetrack, Driven Luck Circuit, that night started driving, picked me up at like 6 a.m, hooked up to my trailer, drove me all the way to Florida.
That's a testament
And
to
I'd never met the guy.
yeah.
So,
It's huge.
Yeah, the community.
Everybody cares.
Community's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, talking about different events and organizations, I mean, Drift Appalachia, whole nother ball game.
Yeah.
I went last year for my first event, and I was like,
You drove it too?
Yeah, I drove
Dude.
the last. Well, not the last one, but I drove stage 5 and 6.
Yeah.
And I mean, the vibe out there is insane.
I think I wouldn't say the future of drifting, but I think it's such a necessary thing that they finally accomplished.
Absolutely.
Like bring us back to the roots
Yep.
that we're not really allowed to talk about.
And not only that, but doing it in a controlled environment.
Safe.
You know what I mean?
As safe as you can make it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is. I mean, I can't believe how safe it actually is.
Yeah.
You know, it's super intimidating. I went out there the first event and I had the jitters the entire time.
Bet.
You know what I mean? The second time I went out, it felt amazing.
That rush is got to be.
If there is no other drifting I can do, I would be satisfied just doing 3 or 4 of them a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Maybe that's like the next thing with pro drifting is these types of
those-
events.
Yeah. If they could somehow figure out how to get spectators into that, it would probably be the best round of FD if they
I mean,
did it.
they do it with rally. They just shove them in the forest.
Yeah, I just feel like it's so sketchy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've yet to go. I got Reese invited me. He's like, "Yo, I think you're free this weekend. You should come out." I'm like, I might just do it. I'm like, I don't want to do
Yeah,
any
if
work.
you have the opportunity, go.
Yeah,
Go.
I don't even want to drive. I just want to go and be there.
Just
So,
experience it. I
yeah.
would love that same opportunity. Just experience it.
That's like, dude. Well, thank you so much. I
Yeah,
appreciate like the
absolutely.
history lesson, the
Yeah,
throwback.
man.
This is sick. I'm gonna have to bug you for a flat white in a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
I got you.
Yeah, dude. Do you got any social media stuff going on? Like,
Just
anything you wanna
Elite
plug?
JDM. It's my Instagram. I mean, I'm not out here trying to get anything. I'm trying to just be out and have fun, network, meet new people, and obviously welcome in the new people coming in and have fun with the old people, and just have fun with my friends. You know what I mean?
That's what we're all here for.
Yeah,
Dude,
absolutely.
Sick.
Yo,
thank you so much.
thank you.
No worries.
All right, man.
All right, hopefully you enjoyed that episode. I would love it if you made sure to follow all the drivers that are on there, big, small, and people maybe you haven't heard of before. So, a couple updates. Nothing bad, nothing's really, really changing, but there's a couple of things that are in the works I would love to have your help with. One of them, if you don't already know, this podcast has a Discord. There's going to be a link to it down in the description. Please jump in there, make your voices heard. Lots of cool stuff goes on, lots of cool meetups and stuff like that. We do special things for podcast listeners at events. I would love it if you could follow us in there. It's a great community, and we plan on keeping it that way. We also have Outerzone social media that's going on. You can take a look. If it's just clips, stuff like that, would mean a ton if you could follow that one as well. Obviously, we are getting not to the end of the season, but the end of the season is in sight. I'd love to know if there's somebody you guys want to have on for the final episode of the year. You can do that in the Discord. You can drop comments and stuff like that. All that is going to help. And then we'll have our usual break over the winter. Lets me recharge, gives everybody kind of some time to get everything together. And then we'll be back with another season next year. So the show has been renewed for at least another year, maybe even 2. But yeah, so all good stuff. We are toying around with a couple of new ideas for next year as well. There's some discussions going on in the Discord, so another reason to jump in there and check that out. Other than that, just thank you so much for an awesome season. It's been a crazy one for me, as you already know, and things are going really, really well. Yeah, got Utah coming up. I got a couple of cool episodes that'll be recorded there, and then a few more awesome guests before we get into Long Beach 2, and then we'll have a couple episodes after Long Beach 2, and that'll be kind of the wrap up for the season. So thank you again for all of the support, and thank you for listening all the way through. Catch you on the next one.